Welcome everyone to the text and context page of The Hindu. Here, one article is given Rules for Identifying Criminals. So, what is this about? What two recently notified rules of Criminal Procedure Identification Act 2022 state is there scope for misuse? This thing is being explained in this article. This is an explainer. So first we would see that what is the story so far. So why this article is being written right now. So story is on September 19th, the Ministry of Home Affairs notified the rules governing the Criminal Procedure Identification Act 2022. So new notification came. The act was passed in March by the Parliament, and until the rules are notified, an act cannot be implemented or come into force. So this thing you should learn, that until rules are not notified, an act cannot be implemented or come into force. The legislation would enable then police and the central investigating agencies to collect, store and analyze physical and biological samples including retina and iris scan of arrested persons. So this the notification has come. This act, this legislation will enable the police and also central investigating agencies such as CBI, NIA and others. They can now collect, store, analyze physical biological samples, for example thumbprints and uh, eye scan, which is retina and iris scans of the arrested person. Now, what is the legislation about? This act seeks to repeal. So, one act will be repealed and then this act will come. So, what is the act that will be repealed? Identification of Prisoners Act 1920. It is 100 years old act. So, this will be repealed and now new act will come, which is this act. The old act scope was limited. So, this old act can only take finger impression, footprint impression, and also photographs of convicted prisoners. So, you have seen something like a board that is held by a prisoner, then left profile, right profile, center profile, all of this you have seen in movies as well as in photographs as well. So, this was only scope of the old act, and certain category of arrested and non-convicted person on the orders of magistrate. So other categories of capturing other physical or biological things were there, but of arrested and non-convicted person only when magistrate gives the order. And this finger impression, footprint impression, photographs were for general prisoners. So the statement of object and reasons of the bill when it was introduced in the parliament said that the new measurement techniques being used in advanced countries are giving credible and reliable results and are recognized world over. So what was the reason that was given for introducing this law? It said that the new measurement techniques, which is measuring retina, other biological and physical things, these techniques are used in more advanced countries and they are more credible, which means that these are more credible things that we can rely on, and also they gives reliable results and are recognized world over. It means they are used by the whole world. In fact, most of the countries use them. So it said the 1920 Act does not provide for taking these body measurements as many of the techniques and technologies had not been developed then. So iris scan, retina scan, these technologies were not developed at that time, so that is why these were not even mentioned in the 1920 Act, and that is why this act does not provide for these body measurements. But now more technological advancement has been done, so they are introducing new things in new act. So the act empowers a magistrate to direct any person to give measurement which till now was reserved for convicts and those involved in heinous crimes. So now this new act has come And according to this act, the magistrate can now direct any person to give measurement, which means a person who is arrested, just arrested, also the person who is non convicted, which means he is in the trial procedure, which till now, till which was according to act of 1920, just it was reserved for convicts and also those persons who were involved in heinous crimes such as murder, rapes, etc. It also enables the police up to the rank of head constable to take measurement of any person who resists or refuses to give measurement. So if someone refuses, the police up to rank of head constable can take them. So as per the rules, measurements include finger impressions, palm print, footprint, photograph, iris retina scan, physical biological samples, also their analysis, behavioral attributes, including signatures, handwriting, or any such other examinations that are referred to in section 53 or section 53A of the Code of Criminal Procedure 1973, 2nd of 1974. Though it has not been specified that analysis of biological samples could also include DNA profiling. So it is not even clear that DNA samples will be taken or not. So what about concerns that the act will be misused? So how can this act be misused? Whether privacy will be violated or not? So when the bill was debated in Parliament in March this year, the opposition member termed it unconstitutional. You see, there was a debate and opposition members do not like this bill, and that is why they termed it as unconstitutional. Just not they like, but even they may have found some clauses unconstitutional, not just based on liking. An attack on privacy as it allowed the record of samples of even political detainees. So why? Because a lot of political and politics based people are also arrested. So you see, only just arrested person will also have to give such samples. So that is why they can attack on privacy of even political detainees. However, the rules notified on September 19 state that the sample of those detained under the preventive section, for example, section 107, 108, 109, 110, 144, 145, 155, 151 of the CRPC shall not be taken unless such person is charged or arrested in connection with any other offence punishable under any other law. So these sections will be excluded unless and until they are arrested in connection with any other offence which is punishable. So it can also be taken if a person has been ordered to give security for his good behavior and also for maintaining peace under section 117 of the said code for the proceeding under the said sections. So now rules do not mention the procedure to be adopted for convicted person. So they are only mentioned for arrested person and non-convicted person. What about those who are convicted, who are found guilty of the case that was against them? Do not mention anything about that. Now who will be the repository of the data? Who will keep that data, preserve, store? The National Crime Records Bureau, which is NCRB under the Ministry of Home Affairs, will be the one-stop agency for storing and preserving the data of arrested person. The state government can also store the data, but it shall provide compatible application programming interfaces for sharing the measurements or record of measurements with the NCRB. So you see, NCRB is the main agency, or you can call bureau, which will store this data, and this will preserve the data of arrested person. But state government can also store the data, but they have to share all of this data with the NCRB. Now rules state that NCRB will issue a standard operating procedure, which is SOP, for collection of measurements, which would include a specification of the equipment or devices to be used. For example, if you want to scan retina iris, you have to use certain equipment and devices also for physical measurements as well as biological measurements. Various equipments and devices are used, so there shall be a standard operating procedure. Also, specifications and digital and physical format of the measurement should be given. Rules set that in case any measurement is collected in physical form or in a non-standard digital format, it shall be converted into standard digital format. For example, if you have taken height of a person and it is somewhat some meters, then you have to write it down in the digital format. That means you have to create a digital copy of that also, and thereafter upload it in the database as per the SOP. So you do not have to only keep hard copy or hardware thing or any such notebook or diary, but you have to upload it in the database also. So there will be digital measurement also. Only authorized users could upload the measures in the central database in an encrypted form. So only authorized person can do that. What are the provisions for destruction of records in case a suspect is acquitted? So for example, suspect is not found convicted or guilty. So what about that data that NCRB has collected or the police constable has collected in the prison? What about that? Will it be destroyed or not? So the procedure for destruction and disposal of records are yet to be specified. They are not specified, they are yet to be specified. They will be specified in the future. The rules state that any request for the destruction of record shall be made to the nodal officer who is to be nominated by respective state government. So if any person was suspect, arrested, and then he was released, he can consult to the nodal officer who will be nominated by respective state government. Nodal officer will recommend the destruction after verifying that such record of measurement is not linked with any other criminal cases. So if the person is released and he is not linked with any other criminal cases, then he will first verify that and then he will recommend the destruction. So this is the whole procedure. Now can you read this article by yourself as well.